Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a collaboration that I was a part of with the beautiful Renata. She goes by the Twilight Stitcher here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. I'll make sure that I put her links to her accounts in the description box below so you could go over and check her out and see what she made for this collaboration. So as we were discussing what we wanted to make for this collaboration, we talked about different types of fabrics that we want to make, and we also talked about the type of garment we wanted to make. So we both agreed to make dresses because myself, I love dresses and I have not been able to make dresses this year. And so I definitely wanted to make a dress, and Renata also agreed. We also talked about the types of fabrics that we wanted to play with, and we threw around some ideas and we talked about making dresses with sheer fabrics. Originally, we wanted to play with organza, but we kind of shelved that and we decided to just make something with sheer fabrics like a voile or some type of lightweight crepe de Chine or something that is just very light in weight and also possibly sheer. So I decided to choose a really, it's almost see-through. It's a sheer fabric from Morex Fabrics, and they did sponsor this piece. So this is a sponsored piece, and I'll talk more about the fabric as well throughout the remainder of the video. I also chose a crepe de Chine, which is a very light, it's almost translucent. It's not transparent, but it's almost translucent, and it does require some type of lining, especially if you're going to be working with a dress. So I decided to choose those two fabrics for my project, and I'm going to talk in more detail about those two for the collaboration. But I also made a dress out of a Balenciaga fabric that was sponsored to me by Mood Fabrics. So I'm going to be talking about all of that in this video, and we're going to go ahead and start with the pattern. So the McCall's M7381 pattern is a dress pattern that has 4 different variations. You have sleeve variations, you also have an empire waist, and you do have variations for your empire waist. And then you also have length variations. The pattern calls for you to line the bodice, but you don't have to line the dress part of it, the lower skirt part of the dress. I decided to go ahead and line the lower part of my dress as well for 2 of my dresses. And so 2 out of the 3 dresses are fully lined, and I'm going to talk about that as well. So this pattern comes in sizes extra small to medium and extra large to 2XL. So originally I purchased the extra large to 2XL pattern last year, and I did a mock-up on that extra large size. After I did the mock-up, I realized that the bodice was a little bit too big on me, and I went ahead and purchased the extra small to medium so that I can choose the medium size instead. The fabric suggestions are challis, crepe de Chine, crepe, cotton blends, and you need lining fabrics. And it doesn't say what type of lining fabrics here, but obviously if you're working with something like a crepe de Chine, then you can choose a lightweight polyester type lining. And if you're working with something that's more like your cotton blends, you want to go ahead and choose a fabric that's going to hold up with your cotton blend. So for me, because this Swiss dot Jaquard is a cotton fabric, I decided to choose a cotton lining, and it's more of a cotton shirting, but it's really light in weight. It's very light, kind of almost like a broadcloth, and it's very nice because it's not too heavy. So that's what I chose for this. The sleeve variation, so you do have a variation that is sleeveless and the pattern comes with binding for that. And then you have a long sleeve variation that has a cuff at the lower end of that sleeve. And then you have a short sleeve variation. Now the short sleeve variation is not a flutter sleeve, it's just a regular sleeve. However, because the pattern is not wide enough for my biceps, I decided to not choose that. And what I did for my short sleeve variations for the Balenciaga dress, as well as the dress that I'm wearing, which is the Morex Swiss dot dress, this floral dress here, I decided to take the sleeve of sleeve B, which is the long sleeve, and I made that a flutter sleeve. So I made a short flutter sleeve out of that. I did not want to start at the very beginning and draft my own sleeve pattern. I just I used the foundation of this sleeve B so that I can actually have the right length for the arm side of my garment, because I didn't want to mess up my sleeve pattern there. And I just did the spread and slash method, and I opened up my sleeve pattern to give me a flutter sleeve. I would say if you are someone that needs the medium size pattern like me, or the large, but your biceps are bigger than the size 14, you might have to do the spread and slash method in order to get the sleeve pattern that you need, so that you can have extra room for ease and you can wear the garment with comfortability. So although you see my Balenciaga make as well as this Morex make, both of those makes have flutter sleeves at the end. This pattern does not come with flutter sleeves. I had to actually create the flutter sleeve for the pattern. The other thing that I did for the Crepe de Chine version of the dress with the 3/4 length sleeve and the cuff at the bottom, again, I had the same problem in terms of the width of the sleeve. And so I had to expand that pattern. And I wanted to have a longer sleeve, and I wanted to have a cuff on the sleeve. And so I still wanted that feature. You know, it has for view B, you have gathers at the lower edge of your sleeve, and you're going to attach a cuff to that. And so I still wanted to have that feature. However, I also wanted to have enough room in the bicep area so that I can have at least 2 inches of room for ease, so that I can actually wear it comfortably. So I had to, again, do the spread and slash method so that I can have a nice billow sleeve, so that I can have a comfortable fit. And that's what I did for that sleeve as well. So again, if you are someone who is in the medium to large and you want to have a nice fitting sleeve, but your bicep is above that size 14, I believe it's the size for that size medium, I believe the finished measurement is a 14 or a 15 inch in circumference, and that's just not enough for me. So I had to, again, expand it. For my flutter sleeve, I added about 8 inches so that I can get the flutter. And for the bishop sleeve, I think I added about 4 or 5 inches. So I didn't add as much with the bishop sleeve as I did with the flutter. The flutter sleeve, it's more exaggerated because I actually wanted a flutter sleeve. With the bishop sleeve, I just added enough so that I can actually have some wearing ease. So that's basically what I did for those garments. So I want to talk a little bit more about each fabric and why I chose those fabrics. I think that this is a very versatile pattern, because you can make it in, like I said, a challis, a crepe de chine, cotton blends, and the Balenciaga fabric, which was sponsored by Mood, is a crepe polyester. Now it has a really tough texture, so it's a true crepe. And you all know I'm not as thrilled about crepe fabrics. I really do love the way that that particular make turned out. It is a sponsored piece, but if I'm going to be honest, I'm not one for crepes. I think it's lovely. The fabric sews up really well. If you are someone who loves crepes, I think this would be the fabric for you. But if you don't like crepe and if it bothers you, this is not going to be the fabric for you. But it is a really great fabric. It sews really nicely. Make sure you pay particular attention to the care instructions if you decide to buy it. I'll put the link to this fabric in the description box below, and you could go over and look at more details about the fabric. But the care instructions, it is dry clean only, so just make sure that, and you will need to do that. I tested it. I tested a swatch of it, and you're not going to be able to do it on gentle wash or anything like that. It is a true dry clean fabric. So make sure you pay attention to the fabric instructions and the care of the fabric so that you can increase the longevity of the piece. So with that said, I decided to go with the skirt of View A for that version. The empire waistline is a true empire waistline. In fact, on me, I had to lengthen the bodice because the empire waist was just a little bit too up and hugging against the lower end of my cup there, of my bra cup, and I did not like it, and so I lengthened it by 1/2 inch. That might be something that you would have to do, but that's what I did. I also had to do a sway back adjustment. There was a lot of extra fabric back there, and so I did a 2-inch sway back adjustment to pinch out a lot of that fabric that was back there. The pattern has two different, so not an empire waistline, but two different views for your empire waistline. So one view, it's just your empire waistline and it's a curved empire waistline. And then for views C and D, you have attached to that empire waistline, you have ties. I have not done that view yet, and so I can't really give you any feedback as to how that view sews up. The bodice of that is a completely separate bodice from this A and B. So I don't know how that one sews up, but when I sew it up, and I intend to, I will let you know. So I think that one is really cute, and I would love to sew that one. I will say, in terms of the bodice in the front, I was really worried about the front like coming open because there are no snaps, there are no buttons, nothing, and you're in between your right and your left front bodice, you're just overlapping those two pieces and you're not stitching it in place or anything. So it lays open. And so I was a little bit concerned at first, like, I don't know how this is going to work out. However, it does give you somewhat of enough coverage. I had to add 1/2 inch around the bust area, like the fullest part of my bust. But other than that, it's not terrible. If you're concerned about it, you can go into the project doing a mock-up and adding about 1/2 inch. I doubt if you would have to add more than that. It's pretty modest. And then also, you can also put a cami underneath of it, and it would make for a really great layering piece. So I really like that as well. It also has, so you have view A and B and C. These are short variations, and view D is a long maxi dress. Now all skirts, so the skirt for A, B, C, and D is on the same front and back pattern piece. So you have two pattern pieces for all views. So you have your front for A, B, and C and D, and then you have your back for A, B, C, and D. So you don't have to do separate pattern pieces for A, B, and then C and D like you do for the bodice portion of the dress. So I really like that because you don't have to worry about that. The back of the garment is elasticated. I was concerned about that again, but it's not bad at all. I think it's a really nice feature because you can just pull the dress over and you don't have to worry about, you know, trying to get in and out the garment with a side zipper or anything like that. The elasticated back is your closure. And so for that reason, I think it's a really nice pattern for beginners and advanced beginners because you don't have to do anything except for put that elastic inside of your garment there. So for the Morex sponsored piece, which is the piece that I'm wearing right now, like I said, I made this out of a Swiss dot fabric. This fabric is a Swiss dot Jaquard fabric, which is really interesting. So you have your little Swiss dots going throughout the fabric. It's a floral fabric. And then also you have some really light, I think they're like a really light brown brush strokes. It's a Jaquard, but it looks kind of like a, you know, not brush strokes, but you have these little Jaquard flowers going throughout the fabric. I'll give you a closer look so you can see what it looks like. So it is a sheer fabric. You will have to line it. I'll put the link to this fabric in the description box below as well. And if you want to take advantage of getting this fabric, I think it's something like $5.75 a yard. It's insanely affordable. So I really like this fabric. It's really nice. I love the colors. I love the fact that it's cotton. I love the fact that it's floral. It's a really nice piece and I absolutely love it. So again, check my description box below. And then lastly, I made the that crepe de Chine version. Oh my goodness, this is probably my favorite dress out of the three. I really love the colors in this. I love the magenta color, the teal color, the really soft. I think it's not quite a purple, but it's like a bluish purple. So gorgeous, so gorgeous. I love this fabric. So this is a crepe de Chine, so it has a little crepe texture on the face of the fabric, but it is very smooth. It's not one of those rough crepes. It's so beautiful and luxurious. I love, like I said, I love everything about this fabric. I purchased this fabric from fabric.com. If it's still available, I'll put it in the description box below. You could go over and check it out. Beautiful, beautiful fabric. So I made like I said, sleeves of view B with my changes that I had to make. And then the skirt I made, I think the skirt length is also view B as well. When I made my second garment, which was the crepe de Chine version, I decided that I also wanted to lengthen the skirt just a tad because I found that the skirt for the Balenciaga came a little bit above my knee and I wanted it to go below the knee. And so you'll see with the crepe de Chine version, it's a little bit longer. And then for the last version, I wanted something more like a summer beachy type dress, like something that you could just go and relax on the beach. And so that's why I decided to choose this Morex fabric, and it is so gorgeous. And I wanted to do the maxi dress version of it with the exception of the ties, and I added sleeves. And I decided to do the flutter sleeves for this as well. So again, make sure you check out Renata's her video and see what she made and the pattern that she made. And I'll put some images here of her wearing her dress, and so you can have a little sneak peek before you go over and watch her video. You can see the dress that she made and see how gorgeous that turned out. And thank you all for tuning in today and for coming back and lending me your time and your support. Let me know in the comment section below which of these three dresses you like. And if you like all of them, that's amazing. But tell me which ones stick out the most and which one you think look amazing to you. Again, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a happy and blessed sewing week. And I can't wait to talk to you all later. Bye.